Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. I'm Ebony, and in today's video I wanted to do a pattern review of McCalls 8432. All right, so this is what the pattern looks like. I'm sure you guys have seen this before. It's very popular. It has two different views, view A and view B. View A is a little baggier up top. It has more pleats than view B. View B is kind of more of like a tapered look at the top. I ended up making view A. I'll show you guys again, just for reference. All right, so to give you a better look at the line drawings, this is what it looks like. So again, view A is just a little bit more loose fitting, and then view B is the more tapered. I made view A, and I ended up using a stretch suiting that I got from fabricmart.com. But let's see, the pattern calls for gabardine, lightweight wool, wool blends, corduroy, wool crepe, and wool double knits. And then also in view A, since they're like a looser fit, you can use challis, cotton knits, and jersey. You do need some lightweight interfacing. It says that they want you to use lightweight sew-in interfacing. I just used fusible. I imagine that sew-in was what they used in the 90s. I could be wrong, obviously. But yeah, I didn't use the sew-in, I just used fusible, and that's just for your waistband. All right, and then also for notions, you do need a hook and bar for your waistband, and I believe that's it other than the fusible interfacing. I'm just double checking really quick. Yeah, and then if you decide to do the stirrups at the bottom of the pants, you'll need elastic for that. And then it says a purchased belt, obviously, because that's just how it's styled on the pattern. Okay, so I have the pants here. I'll show them to you. Like I said before, I pretty much just followed the instructions for the most part. There was a part of the instructions that kind of confused me a little bit, and this is a vintage reproduction, so the instructions are the same from when they were originally printed out in the 90s. And ultimately, I didn't really struggle as far as like terminology, but it was a little bit confusing in certain parts. So once it got to the point of attaching the waistband to the pants, I got a little bit confused just because it seemed like the notches and dots weren't lining up as indicated in the pattern. So I just kind of like did my own thing. Like whenever you go to, and I guess I'll insert like a photo or a video here, but whenever you go to attach it, so the pants actually attach on the side. And so from the looks of the photo and the instructions, it looked like it was supposed to be on one side, like the hook and bar closure. But when I was attaching my waistband, it was attaching to the opposite side. So it made me feel like I cut out the pattern wrong. So I ended up cutting out another waistband just to, you know, double check and make sure. And it still was attaching opposite from what they were saying. And this could have been a me issue. I mean, if you've sewn this before and you had no issues, obviously ignore everything that I'm saying. It could have just been like a me thing. But yeah, ultimately my pants ended up buttoning or fastening on my right side when the instructions indicated that it should have been on the left, in my opinion, which is fine. I mean, it's not like a end of the world thing, but that was just one thing that I kind of like, or it kind of slowed me down because things were going really fast. You know, I was following the instructions and it looked like I was gonna finish the project within a day. And then I ended up getting frustrated with the waistband. So I took a break and then came back the next day and finished up and just decided to just kind of trust the process and just get to the end. But yeah, I just wanted to note that. And then for your closure, you need a hook and eye or hook and bar. I ended up using a hook and bar. It's just what I ended up having in my stash at the time. And that was actually my first time sewing that. I struggled, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely watched a few tutorials on how to hand stitch that on. It's not the best. I won't show you guys what it looks like just because it's like not good. I want to eventually go back in and clean up the stitches a little bit. because it doesn't look very professional. So I think that is obviously, it's just something that I'm gonna have to practice with. But other than that, I didn't really have any first time experiences. The pants have pleats in the front, so I definitely pleated them, and I'll show you guys really quickly. So this is the front. Oh, they need to be pressed, obviously. I wore them, so that's why they look like this. But yeah, they need to be pressed, but it has 3 pleats in the front on each side. And then in the back, you have darts. I don't know if you guys can see the darts in the back. And I've done pleats and darts before, so that wasn't really new. I'm not the best at them. It's kind of something that I want to like obviously practice and get the perfect fit, but I think ultimately they came out pretty decent. Like I said, I wore them to work already, so I like them enough to wear them out. I did make a slight adjustment to the inseam. They were very baggy at first, and I knew that they were gonna be baggy because I had to, I'll show you guys. So for once, I did not have to modify the length, which is shocking. These pants are extremely, well, I guess I won't say extremely, but the pants are tall girl friendly, it seems. I'm 5'11" for reference, and I did not have to add length. It's not one of those things where I measured the pattern piece ahead of time. I kind of just forgot to extend the pants, I'm not gonna lie. And then it ultimately ended up working out for me, which is great. And that's really amazing because I have to extend everything. I have to always extend legs, and I always have to extend sleeves because I'm tall. So for that reason alone, I want to sew this pattern again. I want to make the other view just because they're long enough, and I always need pants. Another modification that I did was I knew that based off of the size that I made the size 24, which is the largest size that they had. And I did that based off of my waist measurement. My waist is about a 39, and let me look really quick. So the range is from 8 to 24, and the size 22 for the waist was exactly a 39, and I just wanted to kind of have a little bit of room as far as like, you know, wearing ease or whatever. And so I ended up going up a size and making the size 24, which was a 41 at the waist. So I knew that these were going to fit baggy anyway because they're like the baggier. So I kind of had an idea that I was going to need to take them in. And when I first finished them, they were very, very baggy at the top. And so I ended up taking them in at the inseam. I couldn't figure out how to take them out on the outer part of the leg. And I'm not sure if I could, just because it just felt, I've never taken anything in that had a waistband. And I guess looking back, all I would have had to do was take in the waistband too, possibly. I don't know. I didn't want to go through the trouble, so I just ended up taking in the inseam, and that ended up working out fine. I mean, these are supposed to be a looser fit anyway, so I didn't want to make them too tapered. And so I ended up liking the end result in that also, so it worked out. But yeah, so I made the size 24, and that was just based on my waist measurement. And then I don't know if this would count as a modification, but I did not add the stirrups, similar to, you know, how they have them on the pattern. It's just not my vibe, so I just opted to not have them. So I had one first time experience, and that was sewing the hook and bar closure. That was my first time, so I ended up going and looking at some tutorials on how to do that. It doesn't look the best. I mean, it's attached, of course, but it doesn't look the best, and I'm probably gonna end up going back in and kind of, you know, try and clean it up. But obviously that's gonna be something that gets better with the more times that I do it. I did end up using my serger for the insides. I can show that to you guys. I have the pants here. I just used black serger thread, very straightforward. And then for the hem, I just turned up 5/8 and hemmed it that way. I think it had the option for you to do like a blind hem. I've never done that before, and the confusion that I was having with the waistband, I just kind of wanted to like get through the project. And so I just did what I knew, and I just serged the end and then just turned it up 5/8. And so yeah, this is what they look like on the inside. I just ended up using my serger. And then it does have pockets, as you can see. And yeah, the inside looks pretty good. And it has like the belt loops. The fabric that I used was stretch suiting. Can't remember if I said that before or not, but I used stretch suiting. I got it from fabricmart.com during one of their sales that they were having. And then this is what they look like. The pants obviously need to be pressed. I've worn them, so that's why they look like this. But they have 3 pleats in the front, and then they have 2 back darts in the back. I don't know if you guys can see the darts. And that was actually the first time that I did back darts, I think. I've done darts before, so technically it wasn't like a first time experience, but that's the first time that I've done darts and pants. So now I have that under my belt. But yeah, this is what they look like. This is definitely gonna be something that I make again. Just because I like the fit of them. Once I made that modification to the inseam, they were very comfortable to wear. All right, I'll go ahead and insert some video of me wearing the pants and how I styled them. And if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope if you have not already, you consider subscribing, like this video, and leave me a comment down below if you have made this pattern before. Let me know how it turned out for you, and I will see you guys in my next upload. Thank you for watching.